Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Babetis and I'm the Development and Communications Director at Family Promise of Wake County. Thank you so much for participating in this year's Night Without a Bed. We hope that you have a meaningful experience as you help us to raise money to help end family homelessness in our community and to raise awareness about family homelessness in our community. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go over to your social media and post a picture of your participation in Night Without a Bed. Use the hashtag Night Without a Bed, and don't forget to ask your friends, family, and followers to sponsor you with a donation to Family Promise of Wake County. And if you're not sure where to send them, then the link is www.familypromisewake.org/donate. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to ask you a question, and in fact, I'm going to put it right up here on the screen for you. You can pause the video while you think of your answer. If you're the kind of person who needs to write things down and that's the way you think, then you can feel free to write it down, or you can share your answer with some of your friends or family members that you're Night Without a Bedding with. But just pause this video when I put up the question and think about your answer. All right, here it is. When you hear the word homeless or homelessness, what image comes to mind? When you hear the word homeless or the word homelessness, what image comes to mind or what pictures come to your mind? All right, go ahead, pause the video, and after you've thought about it, go ahead and click play again. All right, welcome back. So part of my job here at Family Promise is to work in communications, which means that I go onto a lot of stock photo websites. You know, stock photos, there are these pictures that are all over the internet that you can use for your website or posters or social media posts or, you know, memes. If you do a search for the word homeless or homelessness on any one of these stock image websites, I can guarantee what you're going to find. In fact, you can even try it right now. You can just Google the word homeless or homelessness and click on the image button to see what pictures come up. What you're going to see is a lot of people holding up signs in medians asking for money, or people who are sleeping on benches or sleeping on the sidewalk. These people in the pictures are usually disheveled. They're wearing dirty or ripped clothes. In fact, this might be the kind of picture that popped into your head when I asked you what you usually picture when you hear the word homeless or homelessness. And there's no shame in that, because in a lot of ways it's kind of the predominant image that we have of homelessness. But it's not the only picture of homelessness. And in fact, I would say that it's not always an accurate picture of what homelessness looks like. Since 2020, so since the beginning of the pandemic, homelessness in Raleigh has increased by 99.5%. Think about that. That means that in 3 years, homelessness in Raleigh has nearly doubled. In fact, 99.5%. Let's just round up and say that homelessness in just 3 years in our own backyard has doubled. And what we're seeing is that a lot of these folks who are entering into homelessness now, they're families with jobs and kids. They just can't afford their rent or their mortgages anymore because maybe their rent went up during that time. Or what they're being paid at work can no longer cover the price of groceries and gas and healthcare. In fact, to afford to live in the least expensive parts of Wake County, the least expensive parts, somebody needs to make around $19.25 an hour. And currently our minimum wage is $7.25. So they're sleeping in their cars or crashing on the couches of friends or family members because they just can't make ends meet anymore. And what's worse is that because there's a lot of shame associated with experiencing homelessness, many of these families have a hard time seeking the help that they need. So they're quietly going through their lives, and the people that they interact with have no idea what they're going through. So I just want to offer up a few thoughts here to wrap up. First is that I think that we need to change our image of homelessness. It's not the guy who's standing in the median or the woman who's sleeping on a bench. Instead, it might be the person who waits tables at your favorite restaurant who brought you your food last week. Or it might be the person sitting across from you in the cafeteria and you have no idea that they slept in a car last night. Or it might be the person wearing a suit and tie who works in the cubicle next to you. If we don't have a real and accurate picture of what homelessness truly looks like, then we're going to have a difficult time addressing it, right? Now, the second thing I want to say is we have no idea what people are going through. Remember how I said there's a lot of shame that tends to be associated with experiencing homelessness? And so there are a lot of people out there who are quietly suffering and no one really knows what they're going through. Let's be compassionate to one another because we don't know what's really going on in other people's lives all the time. And here's the last thing I'll say. Sometimes when I hear about a problem or a big issue, my very first impulse is to say, what can I do? How can I help solve this problem? Well, guess what? You're doing it. I've been talking a lot about the shame that tends to be associated with experiencing homelessness. And that means that oftentimes family homelessness can be an invisible problem, especially if it's buried underneath those common images of homelessness that we talked about before. By making your social media posts this weekend, you're helping to make an invisible problem visible. You're bringing awareness to it. You're shining a light on it. And that is so fantastic and so helpful. And by helping to raise money this weekend for Family Promise of Wake County, you are making a massive impact in people's lives. Just $73 is how much it takes to give a family shelter for a night. And during the nights they're with us, they go through programs and they meet regularly with a dedicated case manager who's helping them to navigate a really difficult system and difficult circumstances so that they can be their very best. So thank you. Thank you for your willingness to maybe adjust what your picture or your image of homelessness looks like so that it's a little bit more accurate and true to what's really going on in our community. Thank you for being compassionate to the people that you meet, remembering that we don't always know what people are going through. And thank you for helping to raise awareness and for supporting us. I hope you have a great night. Thanks.